If you've ever picked up a non-display drawing tablet, you know the struggle. Your hand is down here, but your eyes are up there. It feels unnatural. Lines go where they shouldn't. Circles look like potatoes. So you practice. You grind. But what if I told you there's one specific habit, something that most beginner artists skip, that could dramatically accelerate how fast your hand and eye learn to work together? That habit is tracing sketches. And no, it's not cheating. Stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why it works and how to do it the right way. Before we get into tracing, let's talk about why non-display tablets are genuinely harder to learn than display tablets. On a display tablet, like an iPad or a Wacom Cintiq, your pen touches the screen directly. You see every stroke under your hand, just like drawing on paper. Your brain already knows how to do that. But on a non-display tablet, your hand is on a flat, blank surface. Your eyes are looking at a monitor 2 feet away. The tablet is a map of your screen, and your brain has to learn that map. That hand-eye disconnect is the #1 reason beginners feel like they've lost all their drawing ability when switching to a non-display tablet. It's not talent. It's just a new skill your nervous system hasn't built yet. And that's exactly where tracing comes in. When I say tracing sketches, I don't mean blindly copying someone else's finished artwork and posting it as your own. That's a different conversation entirely. What I mean is deliberate, structured tracing as a training exercise. Here's how it looks in practice. Step 1. Find or create a rough sketch. This could be your own pencil sketch that you've scanned in, a gesture drawing, a simple line art reference, even basic shapes. Step 2. Open it in your software of choice, Clip Studio, Photoshop, Krita, whatever you use. Step 3. Lower the opacity of that sketch layer to around 30 to 50%. Step 4. Create a new layer on top. Now trace over it, deliberately, slowly, with full intention. Step 5. Once you're done, hide the reference layer. Look at what your strokes did. Study where they matched. Study where they drifted. That gap between where you thought your pen was and where it actually went, that gap is exactly what you're training yourself to close. Here's why tracing is so effective, and it comes down to how your brain actually builds motor skills. When you draw, your brain is constantly sending signals. Move the hand left, apply pressure, curve here. On a display tablet, the visual feedback is immediate and direct. Your brain corrects in real time. On a non-display tablet, there's a lag in that feedback loop. Your brain has to predict where your hand is, then look at the screen to confirm. At first, those predictions are terrible. Tracing trains your brain by giving it a known target to aim at. When you trace a curve and your line drifts, you see it instantly. Your brain registers the error. You adjust. You try again. Neuroscientists call this error-based learning, and it's one of the most powerful ways the motor cortex encodes new skills. Musicians use it. Athletes use it. And artists can use it too. Every single tracing session is essentially a calibration exercise for your hand-to-screen mapping. The more you do it, the more accurate your muscle memory becomes. Until eventually, you stop needing to trace at all. Your hand just knows where to go. Let's talk about the long game, because this is where tracing really pays off. Benefit #1, you build confident line work faster. One of the biggest issues non-display tablet users face is shaky, hesitant lines. Tracing forces you to commit to strokes. Over weeks of practice, that confidence transfers directly to your original work. Benefit #2, you internalize proportions and shapes. When you trace anatomy, architecture, or even simple objects, your brain is quietly absorbing spatial relationships. Where the shoulder sits relative to the neck. How wide a face is compared to its height. This isn't just copying, it's learning through your hand. Artists have done this for centuries. Renaissance masters had their apprentices copy the master's work for years before creating originals. Benefit #3, you develop better pressure and stroke control. Tracing gives you a clear line to follow, which means you can focus entirely on how you're drawing, not what you're drawing. How hard are you pressing? Are your strokes smooth or scratchy? Are you drawing from the wrist or the shoulder? Tracing frees up your brain to focus on technique. Benefit number 4, you close the hand-eye gap permanently. This is the big one. After consistent tracing practice, your brain's internal model of the tablet's coordinate system becomes accurate. You stop missing where you want to draw. Lines go where you intend. And once that muscle memory is locked in, it doesn't leave. It becomes the foundation every future drawing is built on. Benefit number 5, you can trace your OWN rough sketches. This is where it gets really powerful for workflow. Sketch loosely and freely, no pressure, just ideas. Then trace over your own sketch to clean it up. The tracing practice you've built makes your line art clean and fast. You get the best of both worlds, creative freedom and technical precision. Okay, so how do you actually make this a habit? Here's a simple framework. The 15-minute tracing warm-up. Before every drawing session, spend 15 minutes tracing. That's it. Use gesture drawings from sites like Line of Action or Centurestock. Your own scanned pencil sketches. Simple shapes and forms. Boxes, spheres, cylinders. Line art from artists you admire. For private practice only, never post traced work as your own. Progressive difficulty. Start with simple, straight lines and basic shapes. Then move to curves and organic forms. Then complex poses. Then full compositions. Each level challenges your hand-eye calibration further. The hide and compare method. After every tracing session, hide your reference and look at your strokes in isolation. Then toggle the reference back on and compare. This active analysis is what locks in the learning. Don't skip it. Consistency beats intensity. 15 minutes every day will beat 3 hours once a week. Your motor system learns through repetition over time, not marathon sessions. Look, tracing gets a bad reputation because people confuse it with plagiarism. But used the right way, as a deliberate training tool, it's one of the smartest things a non-display tablet artist can do. You're not tracing to avoid learning how to draw. You're tracing because you want to learn, faster, smarter, and with real results. The artists who improve the fastest aren't the ones with the most natural talent. They are the ones who understand how learning works and use every tool available to accelerate it. So next time you open your drawing software, drop in a sketch, lower that opacity, and start tracing. Your future self will thank you. If this helped you, drop a like, leave a comment telling me what you're going to trace first, and subscribe for more practical art tips for digital artists. I'll see you in the next one.